Alrighty, happy Memorial Day in T-minus 3 hours. This is more of a slice of life moment, just a time to record some thoughts, progress updates, things of that nature, which isn't necessarily anything new from what I've been doing. But what is it? May 28th, something like that. Alright, so let's first talk about the obvious. My body is really responding very well to the cut. And I don't know, it's just been a month of cutting, and it's been very interesting this month, because every time I step on the scale, there's not much of a weight differential. There's not much of a weight differential, but you can look at how I looked at the beginning of the month of May compared to how I look now, and I am definitely leaner, which means that I am succeeding in a body recomposition, which is very exciting because I've never really achieved such a feat or such a task before. Normally, when I actually go on a calorie deficit, I lose weight relatively quickly, and I actually do get smaller. But what's been happening this month is I'm staying the same. And I think it's a result of my workouts, personally. I think my workouts have gotten stronger and more intense over the past several months, just by implementing the philosophy and teachings of Mike Mentzer even further, and putting them to practice at a higher level. I've also noticed that by aggressively pursuing harder leg days and putting myself through the strenuous task of that grueling effort that really can only be experienced through tough leg days, because I don't know, it involves more endurance, more cardio, more you're pushing more weight when you're actually doing these heavy leg workouts like squatting and hack squat, V squat, Bulgarian split squats. Leg days just suck. But as a result of embracing that suck and enjoying the pain and enjoying the process, I find myself able to apply harder workouts to other body parts. And I think that my body is responding. I really do. Because I don't know, this is just very exciting for me. Anyway, I definitely want this to continue. I feel emotionally and mentally prepared to peak this shit. I think in the past, if I'm honest with myself, when I start approaching peak levels of physique aesthetically, I tend to psych myself out of sustaining a peak physique. Like I don't deserve to be in this 1% of looking great. I admit to feeling uncomfortable with how people look at me, with the admiration and compliments that people give me when I get to that level of peakness. And it becomes very easy to sabotage myself. Earlier this year, I did have a version of a peak physique. I think this is going to be my best one yet within the next 8 weeks. But earlier this year, I did have a version of a peak physique that I was proud of. And, I would go out in public, and like I said, people would look at me differently. People would talk about me differently. And it's just something to get used to. I've never really been the cool guy, and for someone to say like, "Oh, dude, you're so cool," or like, "Man, like I want to be like you," or "I'm trying to get like you," or any variation of like love and adulation expressed in that way towards me, it's still something that sits rather uncomfortably on me, and it's just something for me to get over. And like I said, embrace. This whole next chapter of my life is about embracing the discomfort of newness, experiencing new things, applying yourself in new ways. Hard work is a new concept for me. Hard, consistent effort and seeing the results of that effort. Sustainability, again, that's another new concept for me, because this will be the third or fourth, maybe even fifth time that I've gotten shredded in the past 3 years. And this is the important one. This is the one that if I were to falter again and go back up in weight and get fat again and have my body fat increase beyond the point that I am doing intentionally or consciously, it just doesn't feel like an option anymore. I think last time it happened back in February, and life was just getting a bit too tough for me. That's the best way to describe it. And I felt like I wasn't in control of things. My job was spiraling. I was thinking about getting different employment. I didn't have any control over my relationship, and just things just not having the opportunity to put more time and energy into my creative endeavors. That was also an issue for me back then. And I was just dealing with depression. And my way to express my depression and that feeling of lack of control was eating. And looking back, the eating that I did from February to April, so for 2 months I was depressed, and the eating that I did was in direct opposition to the goal that I had stated at the beginning of the year. And it's not just a goal for this year, it's a goal for my entire life. And just to restate it out loud, is the journey of the apex of all alphas, of being the peak version of myself in this world, in this reality, and seeing what I'm capable of. So to spend 2 months going in the opposite direction of a peak physique or a peak mentality or a peak fucking maturity is it contradicts what the goal is. And I allowed it to happen back in February, and being able to reflect back on it and understand that I can't allow that type of behavior anymore, because it slows down everything. It obstructs the momentum that's being built on being consistent and practicing discipline day in and day out. And the next time something comes across my life that's unexpected, let's say I were to lose my job, or my job gets more strenuous again, or something happens in my love life that is tumultuous, or God knows, any number of unexpected things that happen in a person's life, the natural inclination is to, for me, the natural inclination is to express myself in a negative way, to sabotage. And the quickest way, or the easiest route, is to indulge in my binge eating behaviors. And it's just, if I were to allow it to happen to again, it would just be saying, what would it be saying? I suppose now that I'm conscious of it, it's just that conscious knowledge that when the going gets tough, that's the thing that comes naturally to me to do. And now I can recognize it. And if I were to do it again, it just feels like I'd be giving in. Not even giving up, but giving in to my natural self-sabotaging behavior, which I have no interest in doing. It's just that simple. I want to succeed. I want to excel. And I want to move into the next chapter, the next phase of my life, which involves being better, being able to overcome my natural habits. It's just that simple. So, long story short, I feel pretty damn excited because I feel self-aware, I feel conscious, and I feel that as long as I continue to practice this awareness when it comes to essentially eating, then everything else can be managed. That simple. Just don't overeat. And through that practice of discipline of not overeating, the rest of my life kind of opens up. And that discipline gets to bleed out into other avenues of my life, such as working more consistently, being creative more consistently, communicating better with people in my life, my responsibilities, my obligations, just overall being a better and more well-rounded and high-performing individual, which is the ultimate goal, to be a high-performing individual and contributor to the society. That's what I want for myself. And it all starts with the self-work of not destroying my own progress when something happens, like a bump in the road, and eating. But I digress. Anyway, so I got a cheat meal scheduled for tomorrow, but the more time I spend thinking about this cheat meal, the less I am excited about it. I think I'm gonna keep it chill. There's this place in LA called Prince Street Pizza, Prince Street Pizza, and I've been hearing about it for a long time, and I've been wanting to try it out because I love pizza and I haven't tried it, and I hear it's really good. So that's gonna be my final cheat meal for the month, and it's gonna be pretty chill because I looked on the website and they specialize in Sicilian pizza. Or I'm not even a big fan of Sicilian, which is that thick dough stuff where it's broken up into squares and that's how you eat it. Anyway, I'm probably gonna end up having 4 slices of that. My intention is to come in below 4,000 calories, and if I do that, which I probably will, and I should succeed at that, moving into the week, the next day is the 30th, and I will be starting a 6-day fast with the Prolon fasting mimicking diet. So the way I do it is the Prolon diet is a 5-day program, and I've mentioned it before, but basically they ship you out 5 different boxes, and each box is labeled for each day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Before going into the fasting mimicking program, I do a 1-day water fast leading up to it, because it kind of, for me, it acclimates me to the extreme calorie restriction that I'll be doing throughout the fasting mimicking diet program. And so long story short, I do a 6-day fast, and I don't know, I feel like that will really set the tempo for how I want June to go. I already look pretty fucking good. And in the month of June, I'm only going to look better. And then we get to July, and that's when we get super duper serious. That's when we get super serious. And we focus on muscle retention while continually, slowly losing fat. And like I said, at the beginning of the month, I was 206. And right now I'm 202. If I had to guess, I'm going to weigh myself tomorrow. And I am keeping the fucking muscle. And that's the fucking goal, is we keep the muscle and we lose the fat. Body recomposition. So, yeah, I'm feeling optimistic. Granted, who knows when the next curveball that life throws. The trick is being prepared for it and not letting it derail your progress. And that's a lesson that I have to teach myself. And, back in February, let's hope that I learned it. I think that I have, I feel that I have. So, no more derails. Peak aesthetic physique is the name of the game. Peak mental capacity, clarity, and performance. That's what we're aiming for. Thank you for listening. Really appreciate it. Upwards and onwards. I will catch you on the next one.